Hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. This is not expecting, I wasn't expecting this. I made a video earlier. I was home the whole day. And then today I was about to upload the video on my computer and the memory card did not work. Unfortunately, the video had a virus, so I have to delete and record again. This is the hassle that has to go through making contents every day. Things that people don't get to see on the internet, is how sometimes I have to do something over and over again to sort of make it work. But because I don't do editing, I don't do any of the stuff, fancy stuff, so I just grab a GoPro camera and record, and I ensure that my batteries are charged, so I don't have to struggle with charging them, anything like that. So today, woke up earlier. Actually, I woke up a little bit late, like 10 o'clock. I was supposed to check out some rooms, but I didn't have a chance to do so. Instead, I went to one of the programs that I was given a scholarship to attend, which is like a training program, tech training program at the George Washington University Science and Technology. They have a program inside there called People and Tech. And that program, they gave me 50% scholarship when I was at Amazon AWS DMV event, because I was a volunteer, so they gave me the scholarship. Now, like I said, I am really busy, with graduate programs, with job hunting, with internships. I don't have chance to add on other responsibilities as a sort of training. The program was originally costing $5,000, and they gave me 50% scholarship, so now it's $25,000, $2,500. So I think that was a good deal, but I couldn't take it because I don't have, again, adding more responsibilities to what I already have. So that's what I described earlier in my early videos. And then in my early videos, this video that I made earlier, I spoke about the government still shutting down, so there's nothing going on here in DC. Everything is still very slow, empty trains, empty transit. So no business going on. We are still waiting to see if the Democrats and the Republicans can get along and eventually pass the bill, and then we can get things going here in Washington, D.C. That's all I mentioned earlier, and I don't remember everything I said. This is why I make these videos, because there are things that I say in the video, and if the video doesn't work and I have to record again, the video is gone. I don't use the script, I don't read anything. No, the video is gone. So now I have to switch the topic. The topic of today that I'm trying to talk about right now, it's the new tariffs. So I think this is very crucial to mention as a master's in economics student. These topics are gonna come up in my master's program. We might actually debate about it. I might also write an article about it someday in the future. So Donald Trump, he began by passing a series of tariffs against all countries, right? But specifically the China country was given more tariffs. But then there was a negotiations between Trump and Xi Jinping, and some Chinese delegates and the US delegates, they negotiated each other. Big corporations like Amazon, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, they came around, they spoke with Trump, negotiated a little bit. He was calm, but now he is going full speed. He has he has announced to impose Chinese goods, to impose tariffs on Chinese goods up to 100%. So that means if you're buying any item from China, you're going to pay 100% of the tax. What that means is 100%. So let's say the way tax system works, by the way, tariffs is taxes, okay? It's also known as duties. It is something that you pay to sell the good in another country. So if you have to sell shoes in Uganda, you have to pay a specific duties or tariffs in Ugandan government, because the government of Uganda has to put in some money. They have to have police officers, they have to have the functioning government, they have to have rules, they build infrastructure, right? So those, when you ship something to a customer, whoever wants to buy that product will have to pay the actual price that you charge them, plus the tariffs or taxes that the government imposes on. So that money goes to the government. Then if the customer don't want to buy your goods because the additional tax from their country is making the goods more expensive, the customer may come up with a new alternative. They can either choose to avoid buying those goods, or they can choose to produce their own goods domestically, or they can switch to a new customer. So for example, Uganda buys goods from Saudi Arabia, which goes through Tanzania or Kenya border. If Uganda poses high tariffs, let's say on matoke, Ugandans may stop buying matoke from Kenya through Dubai. They may choose to buy matoke from Tanzania because Tanzania produces matoke, which could be more less pricey. So this is the same thing with the United States. Now in the United States, we buy so much from China. Like if you look at my room, all these shoes, all these are made somewhere in China, and everything I have here is made in China. You have this box, I don't know what's in there, I forgot. What's in here? Oh yeah, something I got as a gift, you know, my graduation gown, my books, cooking spot stuff. This is made in the US. But all of these shoes that you see here, everything you see here, are all made in China. Now if US raises the price for all of these goods, let's say if I have to buy these shoes, these beautiful shoes from China, right, and the price of these shoes is $100, that means with 100% tariffs you get $100. You multiply by the price of the percentage with 100%, so that means I have to pay $200 for the shoes instead of $100. So everything doubles in the prices. Now I have to decide as a consumer, do I want to keep buying these shoes, or do I want to shift to a new customer? Maybe Mexico makes these shoes. So if Mexico negotiates with the United States, I can simply switch. If Mexico tariffs is at 50%, I can buy shoes from Mexico at $150 and stop buying from China. If something is too expensive, people don't consume it. Take for instance, there are things that the United States sells that other countries cannot buy. So like United States has the most expensive nuclear weapons that no country can afford. So that's like an example. So there are certain things like airplanes, expensive private jets made in the United States that no individual can afford, because if they buy those goods, the taxes will be higher. Like Germans pay high taxes on incoming goods. So if Germans want to buy American goods, they have to pay like double the price. So with Trump imposing tariffs on the Chinese goods, specifically the technology goods, this puts China at risk of falling into economic bubble. Then US can have like power to negotiate. So these tariffs against China, it's not good for the Chinese people. For us, we buy things from China that we don't need. Like I don't need these shoes. In fact, I never wear them. All these are brand new. I only wear these, sometimes this, and I have other shoes in here. So the things that we need in America, we need cars, we need airplanes, we need trains, we need food, right? We need weapons. Those need construction materials, right? We need engines, and those things we buy them from countries, different countries other than China. Like we buy cars from Japan. I drive my cars made in Japan, and Japan has a good relationship with the United States, you know. And then we have other competitors. So if I don't buy shoes from China, I can buy shoes from another country like South America. We can also make shoes in Africa. We can shift manufacturing in another country. So this is going to hurt China so bad, which might not end pretty well. Here is another thing though. China and Taiwan compete with the US, and Taiwan is getting really good at efficiency in everything they do. And US, by hurting China, they benefit Taiwanese more. Like Nvidia is a Taiwanese company, and Nvidia is doing so great here in the United States. So with these tariffs, I don't know exactly what Trump wants to achieve, but since 1970s, Trump has viewed China as a threat to the United States. He has made threat he's been talking about for a long time, and in 2016, when he became a president, he was lenient. He was a little bit nicer, but 2019 he started imposing tariffs, and then COVID came, and that COVID came from China. We still don't know if COVID was a political. We actually don't know. Nobody will never know. But it's not the first time, because even in 2013, 2015, China came up with flu, the biggest flu, which also devastated the economy. All of that has not gone anywhere, and it's still there. So, what was going to happen? I don't know. The problem with this is that the Chinese people, they don't know these things. Like China restricts freedom of speech. So Chinese people, they can't actually watch our news. They can't watch our analysis. They can't watch my video. Even if I have to advocate for China, Chinese will never know that I'm advocating for them. They will never know that American people wants to buy their goods. They will never know that American people, they are not after their country. But with freedom of speech being restricted in China, this kind of makes American people sort of questioning, like, what's the purpose? Maybe our government is right. Maybe our government is correct when it says China is a threat, you know. So Americans are becoming more and more anti-China, and soon we could see China becoming like Russia. We could see China becoming like Iran. Why? Because if Trump keeps imposing tariffs, and then American companies, of course China is thriving because of American companies. They are thriving because US companies, they go to China, they invest. So other countries like Germany, Europe, and African nations, they go to China because they are following the American companies. They become contractors. Even Trump imposes tariffs against China, is punishing US companies. The US companies, they can only lose much, so they will pull back, move somewhere else like in India or Taiwan or another country, or move back to the United States. And if they do so, Chinese are going to realize there's no more jobs. They have a huge inventory sitting down. They are already suffering from COVID. They are already suffering from 2019 tariffs. They have not recovered. So with huge inventory sitting down, no consumption, no buying, supply chain disruptions happening, they're going to protest because they have no information. The government does not allow. Some smart Chinese users VPN to follow up what's happening in the US, but a lot of them don't even know what's happening in the United States. They don't know these issues are being passed, these problems are being passed. And I don't know, I just feel like these things are very crucial. And being in Washington DC, I get to be on a first hand in understanding everything happening within the Congress, within the White House. So that was today's topic. I think today's topic is very important than one it was earlier. So thankfully the video didn't work, so I have to make a good video about these things. Other than that, thanks for watching. Like always, subscribe, share, care. and comment, and see you in my next video tomorrow. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.